Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and the such, usually I go about on Twitter X. Just a quick update. Starting this week, I will be doing in total will be 6 episodes of Midnight Suns. So throughout Monday until Saturday, I will be publishing one episode. I've been having a blast playing this game, and I've been managing to record some backlog episodes so I can publish in a timely manner. But yeah, other than that, no big news so far. Regarding live stream, again, given my work schedule as a freelancer, it's been quite difficult for me to get around to having like a chunk of at least 3 hours to live stream without any kind of worries or something like or without any interruptions. So when I can, I will jump in. Just let everybody know on Twitter when that happened. Yeah, basically that's it regarding the channel. Let's go for some news. We got ASML again. This is industry related. CEO believes that Europe needs China's legacy chips to sustain demand for 10 years, but 10 years behind in chip tech. Again, SML, as far as I know, are the producers, manufacturers of the machines that produce the chips, which at this moment in time, China doesn't have that capability of producing their own lithography. At this moment, it's how the technology there. They are still not able to do that. I think UAV has to do with ultra low light, violet, whatever it is, the gamma bandwidth of producing the chips. Again, China doesn't have that capability yet, but again, it's all about if they have the capability of being independent from these producers of these machines. Yeah, Europe and the United States are going to be in a shit show. Given some quotes here from the SML CEO, that still China has a very important role for global markets. Again, because of all the sanctions and the bans and the stuff that is happening between the United States and China, and usually when the United States decides something, I don't know why Europe still goes like a lapdog, doing everything behind and go in line with USA politics there, and this again creates certain kind of situations that at this moment in time, um, the the fact that to a certain degree China cannot export, let's say, to these legacy chips, so the ones that are, even though 10 years behind, are very well needed on the market for a lot of stuff there. I don't know, from automotive industry, those chips are more than good for what it is, and other kind of devices. And at this moment in time, Europe as a region doesn't have ways of producing those chips. So around, I think, 50% of the needs of Europe regarding those legacy chips, as they call them, it's still dependent on China, which is does make itself a conundrum. But yeah, continuing here, despite measures such as the you you oh my god, European Union, because I want to say European Union in Portuguese automatically. That's why I get a little bit there. Chips Act, which is I think will be is similar to USA Chips Act thing there. But the EU Chips Act's regional semiconductor growth is an all-time low. Again, they don't have, they can make the machines, but they don't have the resources to build the chips. That's how it goes so far. And one of the mega projects, such as Intel Fab in Germany, again, Intel is in deep shit. They are canceling stuff left and right. Have to lay off a lot of employees, so it's not in a good way. So, and the fact that Germany, because of those, because of the situation Nord Stream, they stopped getting cheap energy, or at least cheap gas to produce cheap energy, so the industry in Germany can continue, at least maintain itself. Germany is not in a good state in terms of industrialization there. So again, the fact that Intel is not in in a good way, and Germany is in a complete shit show also, it lends itself to this kind of mega projects that could have a boost in European economy and in American economy because Intel is an American company. Yeah, though they are halted due to financial issues. And again, this shows that self-production is not out of the equation for European unions, but they are unable to meet demand for the semiconductors, and in-house facilities only cater again to 50% of the total demand for the markets, given that at least the other 50 will are coming from China mainland. Um, but yeah, so the even though they are poised to grow rapidly because there is demand still for these legacy chips, they don't have the supply for that demand, and that will also only going to when you have a lot of demand and low supply, the prices will just ramp up, and the fact that United States and by to a certain extent Europe is getting an inflation a little bit higher. Again, you can see where this is going. This can topple some industries in Europe, on at least in this market for now, which is not going to be good. Even though the SML CEO believes that China is still a decade behind the US when it comes to semiconductor technologies, the country has a long way to go, but given this proficiency, all the processes that does put it in a slight edge. Again, the fact that they're still a little bit behind, they to a certain degree had time, given that didn't have any other means to do anything else to refine and those older technologies and put that into a certain edge regarding other competitors on the market that do the same kind of they produce the same kind of semiconductor chips there. But yeah, uh, this is not boding well because China will not let go again. Then you got the people tend to talk about, for example, TSMC from Taiwan. They forget that at the end of the day, the TSMC is a Chinese company to a certain degree, um, because it is recognized internationally that Taiwan and China are part of the same country. Again, they have their own disputes on how to deal with things there, but both of them, at least since I remember seeing everything, I always thought and always saw that Taiwan is part of China, which happens again. Even they have their own disagreements. There are some more faction. There are some factions in Taiwanese politics that they want independence. The same thing can be said in European Union. There are some countries that want independence. You got UK that get out of European Union, and even inside the UK, you got some provinces that they want to get be independent from the UK. You got these kind of situations. You got discussions also, for example, in the United States. Some Texans or Californians just want to get out of the United States by itself. Again, you got all of these situations crossing all over the world in certain countries. There are always this kind of disputes. There are always some factions that are in disagreement with the overall scheme of things. That happened, but the fact that Taiwan, since I always saw that as part of China, and TSMC is a Taiwanese company. It's not an American country working in, or any kind of other company working in Taiwanese soil. People don't forget that regarding TSMC in terms of their process manufacturers, they are on the bleeding edge, and that will, to a certain degree, in an extreme case, let's say, if needed be, China will officially um, annex Taiwan for all intents and purposes, militarily or not. They by the end of the day they can do that if they want, to nationalize the company, let's say, to put itself on an advantage regarding the rest of the world when it comes to this kind of situation regarding the semiconductor um, market here. But yeah, basically that's kind of overall view of what is happening here. Again, if this continues with the sanctions and all the tariffs and all that shit. It does not bode well. But in the end, for American or even South Americans, because don't produce that much, but every country has demands on semiconductors, and in Europe, they will get the worst part of the pie because China is self-sufficient in that way. Because if they can't export semiconductors, they are more than well to supply themselves with this, even being legacy conductors chips, and they are advancing. They might be today 10 years behind, but maybe next year they will only be 5 years behind, and so on and so forth, and they will catch up relatively quickly for sure. And especially if they manage to get around and hack the system per se and start making their own machines of lithography kind of a thing there. Again, if they catch up on that and they have plenty enough resources, if for example the government in China decides that they want to really ramp up the investment on those kind of technologies, I think they are more than capable, and probably in 3 to 5 years catch up and probably overtake the leading industries in the world regarding these kind of things. And when then you get somebody that is that dominant on the market, then you cannot complain that you didn't do anything there. Instead of having at this moment in time with some European countries, I think this Dutch company is like the leading company in terms of manufacturing these machines that manufacture the chips. Instead taking advantage of that and put themselves in a position throughout Europe to have some leverage regarding I don't know, the competition, which at this moment seems to be China. No, the governments by themselves, even European Union, they just resort to the tactics of just sanction banning and stuff, which at the end, in the short term, might seem a victory, but in the medium to long term, it's going to be a huge loss for European Union. And when you have Germany, which is the heart of industrialization in Europe, starting to die out, the ramifications will come to other countries as well, which is a shame. But yeah, if you don't have a country that is capable of maintaining a good and healthy industry, yeah, what else do we have to offer? Given that Europe is relatively small in terms of area, you got some people there, a lot of the services there. You got some agriculture, but it's minimal. You got the industrialization that is dying out. You don't have a lot of agriculture and farming industry at the pace that they don't need other countries to supply them. Again, and the long term, when you start think about it, I think it was a bad choice going about and start sanctioning everybody instead of trying to use the open channels to put some leverage there. But yeah, it is what it is. In terms of games, we got a lot of Black Myth Wukong. Again, I'm not going to cover any kind of the shit show behind the scenes of the gaming journalist per se. I'm just covering the good stuff here for today. I don't have time to ramble on Black Myth Wukong. Again, we got hardware unbox that did some GPU benchmarks, around 43 GPUs. They went about basically they selected free settings, I think, and on those free settings they tested free resolution. So again, 1080, 1440p, and 4K with a variety of GPUs, of course, all the new ones and some older ones to see how well they might fare or not with this game. But even though might seem 522 data points might seem a lot, it's still a very comprehensive um, benchmark here, so you can have a kind of expected idea what you might have from your own GPU, and you might have a sense how well other GPUs fare within this game, given all the same kind of settings, quality settings in a resolution by itself. There was a good look here on this hardware unbox movie. Sorry, video. We got also Damien on. I think he went for the 3060 only here, but it goes about trying to explain, for example, what is the difference between cinematic optimize regarding what happens in the shutter compilation. Again, he goes about in a kind of very good explanation thing here. And I think he picked the lower end GPU here, so you have the worst case scenario of what to expect from Black Myth Wukong. But he goes explaining a lot of stuff, trying to test out certain things. He also tests a little bit here and there 4090 just to make a case for the RTX thing there. But yeah, he goes about also in frame generation and the explanation between TSR and FSR. Again, he usually tries to go in deep in this video, and I think it's a well worth watch there. He usually focus on GPU stuff, but yeah, I think he did a good job for you to check out and have some clues also on what you can optimize in your case, because he picks on the worst case and tries to optimize the best to reach a certain frame rate, with some compromises in certain aspects, and he goes about then telling you um, which compromises can you make without a huge deterrent or deterioration in terms of the quality there, and gain some FPS in the process there. And then we got also last one, the PS5 gameplay from Black Myth Wukong. People supposedly were worried. Again, I usually just cover PC stuff. They were a little bit worried that the PS5 was going to be a shit show in terms of performance. This is from PlayStation China. They launched the trailer by themselves. It's over a minute, I think. I didn't see the trailer. It's PS5. It doesn't interest me. It seems that the footage is pretty good. So supposedly there is no big worries regarding the PlayStation 5 version of this game, given the fact that it's a very high quality game. It's Unreal Engine 5 and all the optimizations needed for to run in this generation of consoles were getting people a little bit worried, but it seems that it's good. I didn't watch the trailer by myself, but the people commenting did seem to notice that there was good, but there is no news when it comes to Xbox. Again, I think what's delaying some launches on Xbox is the S version of the Xbox, because now in these two games, trying to optimize for the S version is going to be a shit show, because it's a little weaker, but it's that weaker that it needs to get its own optimization by itself, like it was basically another console. Um, and yeah, and I think Xbox they got the dictate, if you're going to launch a game for Xbox, you need to be optimized for both of them, which is usually not a good policy, having in this generation two different versions for that console, and one of them being weaker than the other, and basically all games have to take extra steps to optimize for the weaker version. But yeah, I think that's what's happening there. Another and last thing, the last game here, it's Prism Desert. It's going to be live. I think Gamescom start tomorrow. Today it's the 19th. It will start tomorrow, but the Pearl Abyss already launched a 7-minute gameplay of what people are going to be checking in the demo itself. So I think no spoilers, because this footage will be released regardless if they launch the trailer or not. So I think they prefer to launch ahead of time of one of the featured boss battles or battles that are going to occur in Gamescom, or people that are going to play in those 60 booths that will have access to this, which is interesting. That I think they have full confidence on the game, and it's very interesting what they did here on this boss battle. The combat is very interesting, very dynamic. At least it seemed to me from the footage that I saw. Very fluid. I didn't notice stutters or anything like that, or any kind of decrease in performance. Some camera shake there, but I think it's part of the settings there in certain aspects. I think it got the stamina. I think it's stamina managed combat there. We got some abilities there also that was shown off. The boss seemed to have like kind of a free phase fight there, which is interesting. with a kind of a in-game cutscene between each, but very dynamic cutscenes. I don't think they are pre-rendered in a sense. It's depending on the situation that you are. When it seems that the camera just zooms out and instead of you playing, and it shows off the kind of the cinematic in game of how it processes. Yeah, it seems pretty fluid, good graphic quality there. The effects are pretty good. Yeah, 7 minutes. The fight seems very interesting. How he's using certain things. Even the only thing I think it could be, again, it's because I'm used to playing Elden Ring or Dark Souls. You can basically pause. At least it seems it was completely paused while you go for the menu and get around and get some consumables in the middle of the fight. It's not a nitpick; it's how it works. But yeah, because I'm used to checking the Dark Souls games, you kind of know in the middle of a fight you're not going to pause the game. But yeah, it's not a nitpick; it's something interesting that I noticed there. But yeah, uh, very interesting. I really enjoyed this one. 7 minutes of a good boss fight there. But yeah, basically for the news, this is it. Calm day for Monday. Again, a lot of other extra stuff. Again, trauma. I don't have patience to start off the weekend with the Wukong stuff. There are some updates here and there regarding some coverage. But yeah, I want just to focus on the positive side of things here. We got some free games. We still have this Dead Scamming Afterlife. Very positive feedback from Steam, and here on Epic Game Store is for free. So I will leave it here for you to claim it and play and test out if you like it. On Steam, we got Ghostwire Tokyo, again from the Tango Gameworks studio that was closed by Xbox, but now revived by Krafton. Again, 75% off or 67% off here on Steam. We got jusant, 35% off. We got Dredge, 35% off on the base game. We got Void Bastards, 70% off. Again, this game has my stamp of approval. If you're not sure if this game is for you, you can check out my gameplay series, 4K. You can check the first episode of the series that I did, so you can have an idea what this game is all about and see if it is good for you. And the same thing can be said to Prey. Again, step of approval, 80% off on the base game. Very underrated game. Immersive sim, kind of RPG immersive sim kind of a thing there. Again, you can check the first two episodes so you have an idea what this game is all about and see if it is for you or not. On GOG, we got Children of Marta Complete Edition, 71% off. You got Darkest Dungeon, the first game, 85% off. This standard edition, but you got options to Ancestral Edition, which with all of the things, if not mistaken. You got also Inside and a Limbo, 75% off on both of them. And then you got The Evil Within, again from Tango Gameworks. The Evil Within 1, 75% off, and The Evil Within 2, 80% off. The Evil Within doesn't have any DLC. This one does have some extra DLC here. Yeah, here, if you want to try it out. I didn't play the DLC, but yeah. I also made some gaming series on the first and the second one. Again, everything is on the main page of my YouTube channel, organizing playlist there. But yeah, if you're in doubt, you can always check that, so you have a better sense of what this game is all about. And yeah, basically for today, this is it. I will wrap up with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. This extra support is for me to get a better storage solution, so I can have backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.